Another day, another year spun around the sun, and we have arrived back at this point. It's become so popular recently, these little wrapped events that every single platform is doing. So I decided, why not do a video today and go over what my gaming wrapped was for the year. I've got a couple different lineups. I've got Steam, Nintendo, Microsoft, and I've got my PlayStation wrapped. So let's sit down, let's look at not only what I played this year, but how these developers and these companies are laying out these wraps, since, applications like Spotify have been having such a popular time with doing wrapped like events. First off, let's talk about Steam. Steam's overlay is pretty nice. It's pretty laid out, it's pretty simple. No bells, no whistles, but it gets the job done. They simply laid out my Steam 2024 year review, and I'm not gonna lie, I think Steam got the most attention out of me this year out of any other place. Not even Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo could hold a candle to, just solely because I play Street Fighter and I primarily play it on my PC. But if we look beside that, we can see that I played a total of 32 games. I had 92 achievements, and it was about 50-50 or so with the PC to the controller ratio of playing a keyboard and mouse or controller. Really, a lot of that is just me playing with my fight stick for Street Fighter 6, so that's where majority of that comes from. But I do like to play with a normal controller for certain games as well. Overall, there's really not that much to talk about. I guess the top 3 games that I played that much this year was Street Fighter 6. Obvious, I love Street Fighter. The finals, which a lot of people will get on for me about because I really like the finals, and it seems to be getting a lot of hate as of recently, but I think it's a really nice game. I don't think that it's something you can play forever, but it is really nice, and I love the art style of the finals. And of course, Deadlock, which I've stopped playing Deadlock a little bit just because I'm falling off of the MOBA hype. I still think that Deadlock is a great game, don't get me wrong. It's just hard to play it after so long, and when you jump back into it, it's just like a fighting game. When you jump back into it after not playing it for a little while, it's really difficult to get into the swing of things because so much is changing on a week-to-week basis with Deadlock. But again, Deadlock takes that 3rd place for one of my most played titles. Overall, I kind of just like how Steam laid out the basic information. They didn't go too crazy with bells or whistles. They just kind of talked generally about what you played, and that's really what a wrap-up is supposed to be. Nothing too crazy. I crept in a little bit of Marvel Rivals towards the end of the year, and I even played a bit of Call of Duty Black Ops 2 because I was feeling that old school vibe, running buried zombies with the boys. But really, a lot of this all patches down to me playing Street Fighter. I love fighting games. I did have a couple of things, like I love playing Poolian, so I play 2D Pool on my PC. Kind of makes me feel like a grandpa when I say that, but that is the truth. A couple of other titles like Power World, for instance, which I've started up with playing with my friends. If we jump over to Nintendo's side, there is a little bit more bells and whistles, and it's got that average Nintendo charm that Nintendo usually has. As soon as you log in with your account, it's got a nice little animated vibe. It talks to you, it tells you about your the games that you started off with, and surprisingly for me, it was actually Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now, I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan. As a matter of fact, I didn't really get to finish Violet. I still haven't finished that game. I kind of fell off of Pokemon Violet, but I was there for the hype at the beginning of the year, and it definitely did hold my attention. It was fun to play alongside my friends, and whenever we were exploring everything, it was great. Again, I didn't really go too deep into the story though. I like the aspect of just catching the Pokemon, seeing the different types of Pokemon in the different regions. I think we're in for more of a surprise next year. Nintendo really didn't hold much of my time this year just because I wasn't all that interested in Nintendo Switch. Again, this will show you that I played Pokemon Scarlet Violet and then little dibble dabbles of games like Tunic, which I personally enjoy but haven't finished, and then of course Super Smash Bros., which is again another fighting-esque game. It's a platform fighter that I really like playing, but I've stopped really playing it ever since, just because I really don't want to go too deep into that. I have Pokemon Pearl on there as well. Been trying to dive into some of the classics, trying to play that, and really all for that. I can't really speak too much on the other titles. My gameplay for the Nintendo Switch really jumped up in August. I think June and July and August were like the peak points of when I started playing Super Smash Bros. Again, but it really did fall off, and I rarely log into my Nintendo Switch. It's just something about the power of the Nintendo Switch, and I have a lot of titles on there that I've been meaning to play, but it's really difficult for me to get in. We'll see what happens next year with Nintendo Switch 2, but overall, the rest of the website just breaks it all down, and it gives you the option to vote for whatever game you wanted to vote for, and of course, I gave it to Tunic because I think Tunic is a really nice game, beautiful beautiful art style, very mysterious, and you can get lost in it and play it for hours. So really, Nintendo, they did a good job, you know. It's just personally this year, Nintendo wasn't that heavy on my personal plate. Now we go over to the PlayStation wrap. So if you're actually a PlayStation user, remember that they have their 30th anniversary and it's going to be ending soon. If you go on to the PlayStation wrap website and you log in with your PSN account, you can acquire a free badge, which I think it's nice to receive things for the end of the year. Even if it's just a profile picture, it's pretty cool. And when you jump into it, it's nice, and I like the minimalist-esque layout of everything. Final Fantasy VII really took my heart when it came to playing it on the PlayStation 5. I'm playing it on PlayStation in general, and I cannot wait to get my hands on Rebirth. As y'all know, for Christmas, my girlfriend, she got me a Final Fantasy, I think it was Final Fantasy 16 or 17, the newest Final Fantasy entry with Clive, and I have yet to rip the packaging off on that, but I'm going to start playing that here soon. I'm really interested in playing Final Fantasy Rebirth though. It's really rare that I finish games like Final Fantasy because they're so long and there's so much to do, but if I had to say what MVP was there, Final Fantasy took it. Just such a beautiful, just massive world to explore, so many great characters, so many great stories, and when you're playing it with the upgraded PS5 and you get the PS5 edition of it, the game just looks absolutely stunning and beautiful and so smooth. So that, again, I couldn't glaze Final Fantasy VII anymore. It was a brilliant remake, and I'm glad that there's a second game out right now too. The further on we go, the more you see that I did break up my playstyle a little bit. You'll see that I went and I played a little bit of Horizon. I've gotten into Horizon. I think I got into roughly like 25% of the game. I'm not done with the game yet, and I don't know if I want to pick it up because Horizon Zero Dawn, it's a beautiful title, don't get me wrong, but I really am starting to reach a point where I'm falling off. Maybe I just need to jump back in and force myself to play and it'll get better. But I'm at a point where, you know, I've gotten so far into the game to where it feels like it's a lot of rinse and repeating of the same mechanics. Not much is changing, but I still think that the game got me off and got me started in a very good direction. Stellar Blade's on there. That's actually the demo. I don't own Stellar Blade. That's the next game up in my category, and I cannot wait to play that. I am interested to see how that game is played. It looks beautiful. It looks great. But I'm still waiting to see that because I have so much more to finish. As y'all can see as well, we have Persona 3 Reloaded, which has recently become a game that I'm playing on my channel. I live stream that on YouTube Gaming, so be on the lookout if you're interested. But Persona 3 Reloaded so far is a thrilling experience. I like it. You know, it's a really good Persona game. They've remade it and they have upgraded it, and they've just made it the most appealing game so far in the Persona series. It's not too crazy on the grind festival, and it still gives you a lot of room to play. So I can't say much more about Persona 3 Reloaded. And then Sifu, which surprisingly snuck its way in. I think I got this game on a deal whenever I bought it, and Sifu is really challenging. I mean, it's not to the point to where you can't play it. It's not Dark Souls level where you're going to want to rage quit and give up after about 50 times fighting the same boss. But I think Sifu has a skill ceiling. Obviously, the difficulty meter is there. I loved playing it. You know, I did play it on easy mode just because I like the art and the abstract themes that were throughout the game. Each level feels different, and each boss that you fight and each enemy you encounter can be fought differently. And whatever way you play can still be done. I'm not even 100% done with the achievements and the trophy systems. I have 5% playtime, but I only completed one ending of that game. So there is so much more Sifu to play, and I recommend it to anyone that wants to play a game like that, because Sifu definitely took my time away in the best way possible. I think that PlayStation really got second place when it comes to me playing video games on their platform, and just of any platform in general. But again, I do work a 9 to 5 on a regular basis, and I have other things to take care of outside of my work that does hinder my time playing video games. I will say that playing video games, at least for this year, was a little difficult just because life turned up in a whole bunch of different ways, and I'm grateful for that. I am very grateful, but I want to find more time to enjoy these stories and get back into what was so fun with enjoying video games too. Of course, then we dive into the big boy, and it's going to be Xbox. Earlier last year, I received Xbox 360 from my dad. He gave it to me, and I remember going through the thrift stores and the many different old school game shops to find the Wi-Fi adapter, because if you guys didn't know, you could still hook up an Xbox 360, boot it into the internet, buy gold, and play the OG Xbox 360 online with, the current Xbox Series X and S, and that is just really cool to me. I spent a lot of my time playing Modern Warfare 3. This was a game I enjoyed a lot. When I was a kid and when I had a PlayStation 3 all to myself, I played that a lot on the PS3. So you'll see that a lot of the games that I own on the 360 are some of the older titles that not many people really would play or even would try to hop online to play anymore. I still think that it's really cool that Microsoft allows you to have a console that's that old and still connected online, and the fact that there's so much versatility with an Xbox 360 even to this day, and just the accessibility of online play is still there is very nice to me. And as y'all know, the OG servers are still popping, they're still live, they're still going, and Xbox still supports it. So as long as there's support for it, I'll always be rooting for Xbox there. What I like most about the Xbox previews, while they haven't had a successful strong year compared to Nintendo or PlayStation, they still show support to their fans. There's a love letter specifically from Phil Spencer on the website that you would want to listen to and just enjoy for a minute.
Hi, Xbox community. As we wrap up 2024, I want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for making this a year to remember. Your love for gaming continues to inspire us. Throughout the year, our community has seen incredible achievements, unforgettable moments, and countless hours of joy and triumph when playing on Xbox. I personally spent a ton of time battling Lilith in Diablo 4 and getting back into Fallout 76 with friends after binging the Amazon TV series. We believe in playing the way you want to play. So whether you are exploring new worlds on PC, competing in intense multiplayer matches on Xbox consoles, or simply enjoying time well spent connecting with friends on mobile, we're so glad you experienced the joy of gaming in a way that works for you this year. Thank you for being a part of this incredible Xbox community. Here's to more quests, victories, connections, and more joy in the years to come. Happy gaming, and see you in 2025.
It's nice to see Phil giving a personal shout out to people who are Xbox fans and to gamers all around the world, and that really just encompasses gaming in general. Celebrating another good year, not really pushing anything on you to buy another game, and I think Microsoft deserves some points for that, so I'll give Microsoft a pretty good rating on their website. It's very basic, it's not as flashy or as festive as Nintendo's, but when it comes to accessing your information, they did a good job. I can't fault them. There's actually two things that I really wanted to talk about, honestly, and Epic Games doesn't have a rewind system that I'm familiar with, but they did offer a lot of games this year, and they offer games for free every single year. My Epic Games catalog is gigantic of games that I haven't even gotten to play yet, that are on my PC, that I'm too busy playing other games to get to, but Epic Games came out and they just slammed it. I've actually been playing GTA 5 as an honorable mention from Epic Games. Just because I've been getting used to it and I want to get into that grind of, the heist missions and relive through that and kind of explore what I would do if I was able to live in a crazy environment and rob banks. But thank God I don't actually do that. Please, government, don't come for me. Overall, though, too, if I had to add another honorable mention in there, it seems like Steam left out a very big part of what they offered, and it was, early access or demoed games. Now, if y'all don't know, 2XKO, they had their playtest earlier this year in 2024, and that is nowhere to be seen on mine, even though I accepted early access playstyles and playtesting, and I didn't get that, and it's kind of sad to see that I didn't get to see my results there, because 2XKO is definitely second place behind Street Fighter 6. I love 2XKO. Going in person and playing online, I cannot wait for this game next year, and I have so much gameplay and so much footage and so many plans for 2XKO, I don't know what to do with myself. I can't contain myself, but 2XKO should be on this list, and I wanted to say that because I genuinely can't wait for this game's release, and I cannot glaze it anymore. It is such a brilliant game. The developers behind it are fantastic, and I will say this all the way up until and after its release. They've got something special there, Riot Games, and they're taking their time with it, and I just can't wait to see what more they do with 2XKO, but that's very high up on my honorable mentions. Other than that, I think all the companies involved with the yearly Wrapped festivities did a good job. You know, they presented the information. Kind of hard to mess that up. Some of them had more bell and whistles than others, but again, it's another year around the sun, and I'm very glad to be here with you guys as time moves along. And I hope everyone had a good time with their video games this year. Let me know what you did for your yearly games, what was high up on your Wrapped playlist for any of your consoles. I'd love to know it down in the comments below. We're going to be leaving 2024. It feels very weird. It feels odd, actually. This year went by in so many ways and I still can't comprehend it. But I'm ultimately grateful to have each and every one of you here on the channel showing your support, and I can't wait to ride that support into 2025 with more great content and ideas ahead of us. Thank you all for watching. This is the last video of 2024 for JTX, and I will see you all in 2025. Take care, stay safe, and have a happy new year.